Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and now here I am to begin my countdown of my picks for the top 10 best hand-drawn animated Disney movies. Yeah, but before I start off with anything with this review, there are a few things I want to address regarding in these reviews because yeah, I did talk about this a little bit in my last video. Oh yeah, if you want to know the reason why I'm doing this, it's like my last video kind of is sort of like my explanation for this, and it's just in relation to this series of reviews I'm doing. All right, so yeah, first off, yeah, this is like another series of movie reviews that I'm doing. Yeah, I mean I addressed this before in a couple of videos ago. Yeah, I know I have been making like a lot of series of movie reviews for the last several months. Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably maybe some of you out there that are kind of getting tired of me, like, just making all these series of movie reviews. Ooh, then yeah, yeah, and just, uh, this, like, I have this plan, like, I'm gonna do this countdown review series of my picks for the top 10 best hand-drawn animated Disney movies, and then I have another movie review series planned for July, next month. But yeah, then after that, I'll try to like kind of take a break from movie reviews for a few months. And so yeah, I'll just try to make other videos that really aren't reviews for movies. Yeah, so yeah, I just want to address that because yeah, I'm sure there's probably some of you out there that are kind of getting tired of me making like just these movie reviews series every single month. So yeah, I just want to just that yeah, I'm gonna do this and then do what I have planned for July, and then yeah, like I said, after that I'll try to just take a break from movie reviews for a few months and just make other kind of videos. All right. And another thing I wanted to say, yeah, like I said in my last video, with these hand-drawn animated Disney movie reviews, and yeah, these are gonna be with my picks for the 10 best. Yeah, as I said before, there's really there aren't any cutoff dates at all for these reviews. I'm really meaning, in it's just 10 best out of every single Disney movie that's been hand drawn animated. Aided. So yeah, it's not gonna be like something from like 1980 to 2000 or anything like that. Yeah, absolutely no cutoff dates here. Every single one is eligible, and yeah, this is really out of every single one. Yeah, and yeah, as I make these movie reviews, I may like come across may review a movie that some of you may find to be kind of like made for girls or intended for little kids or something. But yeah, I mean, trying to but trying to understand that even if that is the case, even if it is like kind of directed towards girls, or if it is intended for children, that doesn't really mean that it can't be considered a great movie. Because yeah, Disney has made a lot of movies like that that really can be considered great, still be considered great movies. So yeah, even if you do kind of like consider like the movies to be like that, try to just remember that they can still really be considered great movies. And yeah, there are movies like that a lot of people do consider or to be some of Disney's best movies. So yeah, I may come across and review a movie like that you may consider to be like that, but yeah, like I said, they can still be considered great movies. So yeah, if I see a movie like that I do think is like in this top 10 list, then I am going to review that. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, like I said, this is going to be actually out of all the Disney hand-drawn animated movies, and yeah, and I may end up reviewing some movies that some of you may be consider to be girly or for children or whatever. But yeah, they can still be considered great. And yeah, if I do see a movie like that that is considered to be one of the 10 best, then I will review it. But anyway, okay, yeah. With all so that's enough. With all that said, let me begin with these reviews for picks for the top 10 best hand-drawn animated Disney movies. So yeah, as you can see by the title, this is my review of number 10 on my list, which is Tarzan. So I watched this movie a lot as a kid, and yeah, I really did love it, and even all these years later, I still do really love watching the movie. Yeah, no, I haven't really. I know there's been like several other renditions of Tarzan been made, but I really haven't watched really any of them outside of this one. So yeah, I can't really like say how good or how bad that this movie really is in comparison to like the other renditions, or really how close this is to the original story, because yeah, I've never read the story before either, so I can't really say like how close or how unclose this really is to the story either. But yeah, the way I've seen this movie, I really do love it, and yeah, I really do think it is a really, really good, possibly great movie. Yeah, I've heard some people call this movie underrated, but I mean, it's really not underrated. I mean, I really think this gets the credit it deserves. I mean, the movie has an 88% on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes, and yeah, audiences did like this movie. And yeah, it is a really, really good movie. Yeah, this was kind of like one of the first. Well, yeah, this was kind of just right when Disney was starting to like kind of take another turn as it was approaching like the new millennium. And yeah, and yeah, I'm just gonna give you guys a spoiler, or just tell you that this is the most recent hand-drawn animated Disney movie that I have on my list. So yeah, just yeah, so yeah, just kind of give you guys a little bit of a clue of what to kind of expect. Yeah, this one has been the most recent movie that's been released in my top 10, and so yeah. And yeah, I really do like the movie. I mean, I really enjoyed it as a kid, and I still do enjoy it a lot now. I would give this movie probably 3.5 stars out of 4. Yeah, the movie has a pretty good cast to it. Has Tony Goldwyn, Minnie Driver, Glenn Close, Nigel Hawthorne, Rosie O'Donnell, Wayne Knight. So yeah, pretty good cast for it. And yeah, for a Disney movie, an animated Disney movie, this actually is pretty dark. I mean, you like see dead bodies from both humans and animals, and you also kind of have a pretty violent death in this movie. But yeah, I'll get to that later. Yeah, the movie does take some pretty big chances with it, and yeah, they do succeed with them. Yeah, and the movie also has great songs by Phil Collins. I really do like all the Phil Collins songs in this movie. Like, you have Two Worlds, You'll Be in My Heart, Son of Man, Strangers Like Me. And I really do love the songs in this movie. I mean, they're really good. And yeah, the songs really just fit all the scenes that they're in, I'd say. And yeah. And yeah, like I said, I really do love this movie, and I would give it 3.5 stars out of 4. Alright, so yeah, let me just get right into it. Alright, so the movie opens up in the 1880s, where we see Tarzan as a infant, and he and his parents end up escaping a burning ship, and they end up actually on like an uncharted land in the rainforest. And it also shows that there's a group of gorillas, including two, Kerchak and Kala, and they have a baby of their own. And it shows Tarzan's parents building a tree house, and then it fades and shows the face of the leopard Sabor, and it's a leopard, not a cheetah. Yeah, because yeah, I saw Nostalgia Critics' December review of it, and yeah, he later called himself out and corrected himself, but yeah, it's a leopard, not a cheetah. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's like revealed then that Sabor had actually ended up killing Tarzan's parents, and he also later ended up killing Kerchak and Kala's baby as well. And then it's shown as the group of gorillas are about to settle in a new location. Kala can hear cries of cries coming from the treehouse, so she follows them, and then she comes across the ruined treehouse, and then she finds the dead bodies of Tarzan's parents, and she also sees kind of like the blood tracks of Sabor. And then she hears crying again, and then she finally finds Tarzan as a baby. But yeah, at this point, he's not actually named Tarzan yet. And Kala decides to take him in, and then it's shown Sabor is also in the treehouse, and Sabor ends up trying to attack Kala and kill Tarzan. And but yeah, Kala is able to recover Tarzan and escape from Sabor. And then Kala brought Tarzan back to the gorillas. And yeah, she told them that she was gonna be his mother. And Kerchak saw her with the baby. And Kerchak was at first didn't want Kala to bring Tarzan into the family because he felt Tarzan may be a danger to the jungle and to them. But then once Kala told Kerchak that Sabor actually killed his family, Kerchak then allowed Kala to keep him. But he also said that it doesn't automatically make him Kerchak's son. And then Kala then decided to name him Tarzan. And then as Tarzan is growing up, he starts to bond on with like one of the younger gorillas, Turk. But a lot of the other gorillas feel that Tarzan doesn't fit in and he can't keep up with them. And yeah, Turk tries to just get Tarzan away and tells him that the only way he can actually like yeah, the only way that he can actually be taken seriously by the other gorillas is to get a hair from an elephant. And then, yeah, it was just something to get him away. She wasn't being serious by it. And then Tarzan actually ended up going to try to get a hair from an elephant. And it shows there's like a group of elephants, including like the young one, Tantor. And yeah, Tantor then saw Tarzan like swimming towards the other elephants, and he thought that Tarzan was a piranha, and he tried to warn his family. And then after Tarzan tries to take a hair from one of the elephant's tails, and the rest of the elephants see Tarzan, and then they start freaking out, thinking he's a piranha. Then yeah, the elephants then just stampede through the gorillas' home. Oh yeah. And then yeah, Turk is able to recover Tarzan, and yeah, Tarzan showed that he got a hair. And then after Kerchak saw all the commotion that Tarzan caused, he just felt that Tarzan was never going to be one of them. Then Tarzan just ended up bolting off, and then like later that night he tries to make himself look more like a gorilla by covering himself in mud, but then Kala then arrived. And then she just showed Tarzan that he's exactly like them, and he has the eyes, the nose, and yeah, he has everything that gorillas do have, and yeah, he is the same as them, and Kerchak just couldn't see it. And yeah, Tarzan then said that he would make Kerchak see it, and then he just tries to improve himself, and yeah, he just tries to be like, yeah, he tries to adapt more to the jungle life, and then later on, he then shows him as a full-grown man, and then yeah, now he is adapting more to the jungle life. And then And then Sabor then arrives again, and yeah, Kerchak tries to protect the rest of the gorillas, but Sabor ended up taking down Kerchak, and then Tarzan then fought with Sabor and defended Kerchak, and then yeah, Tarzan then eventually ended up killing Sabor. And then it was then like showing that Kerchak then was like gained some reluctant respect for Tarzan. But before Kerchak could actually say anything to Tarzan, they heard a gunshot in the distance, and Kerchak then just told all the gorillas that they had to move and leave. But Tarzan and went to try to find where the shop's coming from. Then he came across like kind of like the camp, and then he saw that there are explorers that have come to the jungle also, which was like Jane and her father, the professor, and also their hunter guide Clayton. And then yeah, they've come to hunt gorillas. Well, then they see that they found some gorilla nests, and that they've come across the location of where there are some family groups staying. And then yeah, then they went to try to find the gorillas some more, but then Jane got separated from her father and Clayton. Then she found a baby monkey. Then she tried drawing a sketch of the monkey, and then after the monkey saw the picture, he then just snatched away Jane's sketchbook, and he wanted to keep the drawing of himself, and Jane eventually ended up taking it back. And then the monkey then started to cry, and then, like, the rest of that monkey's baboon family then came, and then they chased down Jane. And then Tarzan then pursued Jane and saved her from the baboons. Yeah, and then after Tarzan saw that Jane was like the same human as him, like Tarzan was, this was the first time he saw it, and yeah, this is yeah, and then like the way the connection in this movie kind of reminds me of the same way it was like in Pocahontas. It was kind of like the same way, like they both like Pocahontas was kind of feeling the same way about this as Tarzan was. And yeah, you can actually kind of relate Clayton to Radcliffe from Pocahontas because they are kind of the same way. Yeah, this movie kind of has like a similar feel to Pocahontas. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, Tarzan and Jane then like introduce themselves to each other. Then and Tarzan then took Jane back to their camp, and as they were there, like there were younger gorillas and including Turk and yeah, Tantor were out looking for Tarzan. And then they came across Jane, Professor, and Clayton's camp. And yeah, there was like a Beauty and the Beast reference where they had like a teapot and a teacup, just like Mrs. looked just like Mrs. Potts and Chip from Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, and then yeah, all the gorillas in Tantor were then just starting to make music out of all the items in the camp. Part of just like breaking them and blowing them and stuff. And there was like and then they just made a song out of it. Yeah, the song is called like Trashing the Camp, but there like aren't any words, and it's just like dooba doo, dabba da, dibba doo. Yeah, and yeah, Kerchak and the other bigger gorillas could hear the commotion, and as Tarzan brought Jane back to the camp, and Jane saw the gorillas, and then she discovered that Tarzan was actually one of them. Then Kerchak then arrived, but before he could actually do anything to Jane, they could hear Professor and Clayton approaching, and then yeah, all Kerchak then just had all the gorillas leave. And then Professor and Clayton then arrived, and yeah, Jane told them about what happened with her and with Tarzan. And yeah, Kerchak tried to tell all of the gorillas to stay away from the humans because, of course, he felt threatened by them, and he told Tarzan to protect the family and just stay away from them. But Tarzan continued to see Jane, and yeah, she met the professor and Clayton. Yeah. And they could see that Tarzan really didn't understand English, and they tried to get Tarzan to take them to the gorillas, and then it showed them just trying to teach Tarzan English and about the human world. And they tried to ask Tarzan if he could take him to the gorillas, but Tarzan told him he couldn't because of Kerchak. Then eventually the the boat arrives for Clayton, Professor, and Jane to take them home. And Jane asked Tarzan and if he would come with them to England, but at the same time Tarzan wants Jane to stay with him, and Jane just said that she couldn't. And then Clayton then just ended up manipulating Tarzan in order to get him to take him to the gorillas. He told him that if Jane would find gorillas, that she would stay. And then Tarzan then agreed to take them to the gorillas. And at the same time, he also convinced Turk and Tantor to pose as Jane and the Professor to just lure Kerchak away. Hey, so to avoid him from attacking Jane, Professor, or Clayton. Then he eventually leads them to the gorillas, and they're excited to see them. And then the gorillas are trying to just screw around with Jane, Professor, and Clayton. And then, Tarzan made Jane say that she would stay with him in gorilla language, just as Turk and Tantor actually end up leading Kerchak back to the gorilla home. And then, Tarzan then actually ended up holding Kerchak off to let Jane, Professor, and Clayton escape. And then, Kerchak then just felt that Tarzan betrayed all the gorillas, and then Tarzan just ended up leaving also. Then Kala later on then just decided to take Tarzan back to the treehouse that she found him in to actually show him who he really is. And Tarzan then found a picture of him as a baby with his biological parents, and then he realized who he really was. And Kala just told Tarzan that whatever he decides, she just wants him to be happy. Then it showed Tarzan in his father's suit, and then that was the signal of him deciding to go to England with Jane, Professor, and Clayton. And then but after Tarzan boarded the ship, it showed that Jane, Professor, and all the sailors are actually been ambushed by Clayton and his thugs on the ship. Then they end up being locked up, and Clayton then reveals his plan to Tarzan that he's gonna capture all of the gorillas for money. And Tarzan, Jane, Professor, and the sailors are all locked up in the brig. And as that's going on, Turk and Tantor could hear Tarzan yelling, and then they figured that Tarzan was in trouble, and so they swam up onto the boat and ended up freeing Tarzan and the others. And then Clayton and his thugs ambushed the gorillas and tried to capture them, capturing some of them in nets, and they captured Kala in a cage. But then Tarzan then arrived, and him along with some other animals of the jungle, Jane, Professor, Tantor, and Turk, all fought off Clayton and his thugs, and they ended up freeing a lot of the gorillas. And then at one point Clayton shot Tarzan in the arm, and then Kerchak then tried to charge at Clayton to help Tarzan, but then Clayton then just shot and killed Kerchak, and then Tarzan ended up fighting with Clayton. And then they end up high up in the trees. And then Tarzan ends up shattering Clayton's gun. Then Clayton tried to go after Tarzan with his sword, but then eventually Tarzan just tied up Clayton into a bunch of vines. And then as Clayton was trying to cut himself free from the vines, there was a vine that was tangled around his neck. And then Clayton then just ended up cutting like every vine, and then he ended up just falling, and then yeah, just then, and it ended up he ended up being hung by the vine, and then yeah, just snapping his neck, killing him. Yeah, this was the death I was talking about. Just like you never actually see Clayton and actual body hanging, but yeah, you can actually like see it at one point, like you can actually see the shadow of his hanging body on a tree. And yes, isn't it sometimes just darker when you don't actually see the real thing, but you can just like see a shadow or something of it? Yeah, kind of like more chilling like that. Anyway, yeah, and then yeah, and on Kerchak's final breath, he then just tells Tarzan to forgive him, and he was the one wrong, and then he named Tarzan the leader of the group, and finally accepted Tarzan as his son, and just told Tarzan to take care of the group as he ended up dying. And then it just showed Tarzan then leading all the gorillas away. And the next day, as Jane and Professor are preparing to leave back to England, they were then saying goodbye to Tarzan, but because now Tarzan now was staying with the gorillas. And Professor then just convinced Jane that she should stay with Tarzan because she loves him. Then Jane jumped overboard and swam back to Tarzan. And then the Professor then ended up doing the same thing. And yeah, then it showed Jane and with the gorillas. Yeah, and then once again she spoke in gorilla language saying she'd stay with Tarzan. And that just showed Tarzan and Jane then surfing on the vines. And then it also showed like the professor also swinging on vines too. And yeah, just showed Tarzan and Jane together. And movie ended with Tarzan doing his famous yell, and yeah, that's how the movie ended. So yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars out of 4. Really do enjoy this movie a lot, and it is a really, really, really good movie, and yeah. And so yeah, alright, so yeah, that does it for my review of Tarzan. I hope you guys enjoyed my first review for the number 10 best hand-drawn animated Disney movie. And yeah, stay tuned for some more of these reviews as this countdown continues. But anyway, alright, so that does it for my review of Tarzan. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.